Hey guys, Jason Harris from Ozark Mountain Adventures. Today I want to show you my tires. They're not very big, are they? They're pizza cutters. Why is that? And why am I running Falken tires? That's what I want to discuss this morning. Well, this tire, first of all, the Falken wildpeak, kind of a tire I kind of fell into. I was a BF Goodrich guy through and through until I ran across this tire. The story behind me finding this tire was, as you know, I work for Toyota, and I watch the lube techs working on vehicles all the time. There's a couple of rural mail carrier trucks, the little Tacomas, that was running these tires. And I talked to them. First of all, I noticed how good they were wearing on dirt roads, which those rural mail carrier trucks, they basically do what we do every day, all day long. They beat up and down these old rough dirt roads, and they really see a lot of abuse. Well, I've noticed that the tire, they weren't chewing up like most of the tires I see. And I talked to them about flats and all that, and they said that they just really have had good luck out of them, better than any tire they've ever ran. And many of them had tried the KO2, which was what I was running. So on my Tundra, I decided that I was going to try a set, and I fell in love with them. Fell in love with them so much that I ended up putting them here on my Land Cruiser. As you can see here, the tread is not chewing up. We run a lot of dirt. The wet weather traction is just outstanding on this tire. Better than any off-road tire, better than any all-terrain tire I've ever owned. Now guys, I want to tell you a little bit of something about myself. I run small tires, but that's not what I always used to run. I was into rock crawling for many years. We built rock crawlers for a living. I used to think if you didn't have at least a 40-inch tire, you didn't have anything. And it took me a long time to get away from that. You know, my dad, he always ran big tires. On his daily driver, he bought a little Chevy Love pickup, brand new. He put a Scout Dana 44 in the front. He put a Curry 9-inch in the back. This was in the early years of Curry. Small block Chevy under the hood. He ran on 35-inch BF Goodrich mud trains. That was his daily driver. He also had an early Bronco that he ran on BF Goodrich all trains, the early all trains. And every vehicle that I can remember we ever having, Ford pickups, always got a set of BF Goodrich all train tires. BF Goodrich is an awesome tire. It's a great tire. I ain't gonna take anything away from that. I've owned several sets. My first vehicle was a 74 Bronco. And what we put on it was 35 1250 BF Goodrich all-terrain or mud train on that. So my BF Goodrich history has been a long history. Pretty much all my life I've seen my dad run BF Goodrich tires, and I've ran BF Goodrich tires. I've owned several of the old BF Goodrich KOs, the BF Goodrich mud train KMs. I've never owned a set of KM2s, but we've installed several set of KM2s on vehicles over the years for customers. Ran many sets of KO2s. They've been great tires. But what I'm telling you is this is a great tire as well. This tire I've had 0 flats out of. I've had awesome luck with wet weather traction. For the money, it's cheaper than the BF Goodrich, and I believe it is a very comparable tire to the BF Goodrich all-terrain. So I guess next question is why pizza cutters? Why those little bitty tires? Had one guy tell me those look like donut spares. Yeah, it took me a little while to get used to it because I took 3 15/75/16s off of it to put these on here. And I tell you what, I've never been so happy. On this Land Cruiser, my first set of tires on it was a set of 305 70/16s Biff Goodrich KOs. I ran a set of 265 75/16 KO2s. I ran a set of 315 75 Mickey Thompsons. And now I've got a 235 85/16 Falken wildpeak all-terrain. And this is the favorite tire size that I've had on it. Why narrow tire? You know, this is something I fought against for many, many years. You know, I first started seeing this back several years ago, back in the rock crawling days, and I decided I wanted to run a narrower tire than what I was running. I built a Bronco buggy and I put a big, wide, 44-inch tall, 18.5-inch wide tire on it. Well, we went to one of the off-road parks and I needed to climb a steep rock wall. And I got up there and I just fought. I spun my tires, couldn't go anywhere. I backed off this little Jeep Cherokee, basically stock Cherokee. It had lockers in it with 31 1050s. Went up there and just he was up. And here I was sitting over there, just working at it. Couldn't go nowhere. All four tires spinning. Here I had this big old bad rock buggy with a big block in it, and big tires, big axles, you know, Dana 60 and 14 bolt that were shaved. I couldn't go anywhere. And this little stock Cherokee is just like it wasn't even nothing. Why is that? That's contact pressure. You know, my Bronco buggy probably weighed about the same weight as that little Cherokee did. But here I got this big old wide tire that was taking away my contact pressure. So I seen right then that was a problem. You needed more contact pressure on the ground in order to have all the traction that you needed. And that was taught to me by this little bitty cheap Cherokee. He just walked up there and he got up the top and he just kind of looked back at me like, what's the big deal? Because he just up, just like that. So we started narrowing things up after that. Found out like a 43 by 1450 was a great size tire. But you see that in all the professional rock crawling circuit, Biff Goodrich, when they build a rock crawling tire, it's not a real wide tire for the height it is. Well, in this vehicle, this Land Cruiser, I've ran wide tires, 315 millimeters wide, versus these 235 millimeter wide tires, which is basically a 950 wide. I've tucked this Land Cruiser the same places. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you need flotation. Well, I'll tell you what, you're never going to float this Land Cruiser. I don't care how wide the tire is. The thing is so heavy, you're not going to float it. You need contact pressure and you need less rolling resistance. See, on a wide tire, what I found is on this Land Cruiser, it was very noticeable. Only some of these soft, gravelly river crossings that we have here in the Missouri Ozarks, I would start feeling the vehicle kind of bogged down and felt like there was a brick wall in front of it. What was happening is that wide tire was building up a gravel mound in front of the tire, which was basically building a wall in front of it that I was having to turn the tires to try to climb up on, basically to take and shove more rock underneath it. The same river crossings with these narrow tires, I just go right through. I don't even feel the vehicle bogged down. Why is that? Because I've got a narrow patch in front of it. There's not as much of a gravel mound that's being built up in front of it. So it's able to just to slide right through. Also, I found on many hilly situations that I can actually stop in the middle of the hill and take right back off with these narrow tires. And the 315s, I couldn't do that to. So all around, for what I use this vehicle for, mostly it's long back road traveling, and I'll come across a lot of river crossings. The narrow tires is a better tire choice than a wide tire for an overland vehicle. I firmly believe. If you're doing a lot of rock crawling, then you need a 35-inch tire. But for what I do, I don't need that big a tire. And actually, these tires work and perform a lot better for me than any of the wide tires and big tire choices I've got. Number two, the reason why I've chose the size of tire that I have, is that I wanted an overland vehicle where I'm traveling to remote areas. I want a tire that I can find easy. A 235/85/16 is a common size for any 1-ton truck in Ford, Dodge, or Chevy that's been made since the 70s. It is a very common size tire. Even for trailers, it's a common size tire. So if I have a tire failure, which I carry 2 spares, but I've been known to kill 2 tires. I haven't with these Falcons, but I've been known to kill 2 tires at the same time. I've got more of a chance of finding the size of tire that I'm running than I would if I was running an oddball size tire. The tire size that I would like to have would be a 255/85/16, which is basically 20 millimeters wider than what I've got, but it's more like a 33-inch tall tire than a 32-inch tall tire, which I think would be a great size tire, but I choose not to run that because it's not a common size. You can't find that tire in the middle of nowhere. You can't find that tire in rural tire stores. But the 235/85/16, it's a great size. It's a common size. And also the 265/75/16 is a very common size and not a bad size tire as well. So when you're choosing a tire for an overland vehicle, I believe there's a guideline that you should go by, that I'd strictly go by in choosing. And whenever I've went outside that envelope, I've always been disappointed. First of all, you want a tire size that is not overstressing your vehicle. You want a tire size that is designed, that your vehicle is designed around to a very close degree. Secondly, you want a tire size that's easy to find in every area of the country that you're traveling in. And you want a tire size that your vehicle performs the best for what you're using your vehicle for. I believe if you stay with those guidelines, you'll be always happy. You won't always have the best looking size for your vehicle. Man, that Land Cruiser on 35s, that was an awesome looking machine. I love the looks of it. But the performance, the economy of it, and the added stress that I did not need, the weight of the vehicle, the additional weight that you add is enough of an additional stress without throwing a larger leverage in there from a tire. So that is what I go by when I'm choosing the size of tire for an overlanding vehicle. It's not the same guidelines that I use for building a rock crawler vehicle. You want to run a bigger tires that you need, and then upgrade the axles and everything to handle that. Well, an overland vehicle, I want to keep everything as factory stock as possible, because I want to be able to find spares anywhere that I want to look easily. I don't want one-off parts on it, because I want to find spares easy in remote areas. So that's the reason why I run the Falken tires, and that's the reason why I run a skinny narrow tire and the size tire that I've chose. It's all there for a reason. I can run any size tire I want, but this is the tire I feel like I need and that performs best for my vehicle. Remember to give me a thumbs up and press subscribe, and I'll see you next time.